Good day, friends. I'm Mohammed. I'm the founder of M Coach, a boutique product discovery consultancy focused on helping product leaders ship useful features that make money and delight the customers. I am also the facilitator for holistic product thinking that brings this purpose of balancing customer delight with the ability to make money and deliver a win win product that customers love. For early stage product founders, people who are joining cross functional teams, or people who are trying to get into the product discovery craft. I also host the Product Circle, a community for product discovery enthusiasts. People who want to master their craft, it's an exclusive community for those people. Together, they form the initiatives where I share and learn from great product folks like you. In the next 10-15 minutes, I want to talk about this idea of how product vision drives the type of customer conversations we have. Typically, when we talk about customers, there is a term that is often used. It's called user interviews. You go and talk to people who are using your product to understand it. Comes from the user experience, usability dimension of product building. What we are talking about is a much larger perspective. Customer conversations. What do we mean by customer? Irrespective of whether you are dealing with B2B or business to consumer or business to business, when we talk about customer, we are not talking about individuals. We are talking about what we call a need group. Because most of the time, customers don't take decisions in isolation. They take decisions based on discussions, based on deliberations. And those deliberations will involve not just self talk, but it involves talk with other people who are experts. So, in a way, while you might say that the customer is one person who is taking a decision, he is working with multiple other people. Now, those people could be users, those people could be influencers, though those people could be the ones that who are giving the budget. I think we can put different influences to the people involved in decision making. So, in a way, when I talk about customer conversations, I am not talking about conversations with one individual. I'm talking about conversations with a group of people, of which at a time you can talk to one individual or even talk to the whole group at a time. It all depends upon how, what kind of relationship you have with those people to spend time with them. Having said that, so it is a much broader canvas of thinking in terms of how we can draw insights, how we can gather insights from a group of people who have a shared interest or a shared need. When we look at this shared interest, it's like a common minimum program. While they might, each of them might like different additional dimensions, all of them kind of agree on a common minimum program of requirements. And those requirements is what we are trying to solve as a product. So when we look at this customer conversation, unfortunately, it is one of the most underutilized resources. Very few product leaders look at customer conversations or give customer conversations the respect it deserves. Even if they give respect, very few actually apply the right method to gather those customer insights. Even if we apply the right method, very few actually extract continuous value out of those customer conversations and customer relationship that built. Having said that, the greatest founders are those who have got complete control over customer conversations. They are able to talk to customers at will. They are able to work with them, collaborate with them, and co create with them the product they want to see in the world. Of which product vision is one of those dimensions where the conversations can go on. There are many other dimensions in which you can look at that particular customer conversation. A dimension is whether the methods that we apply, whether it is quantitative or qualitative, right? That is one dimension where customer conversations can be looked at. Another dimension is whether it is generative research we are trying to achieve or qualitative research that we are trying to achieve. That's another dimension. Product vision is one of those dimensions. There are umpteen other dimensions in which you can look at customer conversation. The reason I'm trying to bring this point to your attention is that there is nuance in everything. One is you can apply a generic take, or you can go for a specific take. Now, the thing that is conflicting for most people is that generic thing is very easy, but specific thing takes time. Yes, it takes time. Specific customer conversations predicated on clear purpose takes time, but once you get insights, the value, the leverage of those insights is everlasting. And most folks, most founders come from this idea of local optimization, local optima. They want to optimize for now, but not able to look at the future ahead. Yes, it is important to optimize for local maxima, but that particular optimization should not compromise. So what we are trying to tell is customer conversations can be looked at from a bottom up perspective. It can be looked at from a top down perspective. It can be looked at from a quantitative qualitative perspective. It can be looked at from a generative perspective, evaluative perspective. So there are umpteen ways in which a customer conversation can be looked at. From product vision is one of those. And the way to look at product vision is based on these two dimensions. And these two are dimensions based on my experience. One dimension is how creative that product is. Another dimension is what kind of demand you see for that particular product. Right? So when we look at a product, it can have unknown demand or known demand. When we look at the creativity, the product can be low creative or high creative. Within these four quadrants, we are trying to capture the product vision. Truth be told, what we are trying to do is we are trying to simplify things. Honestly, there could be much more nuanced ways to look at product vision. For the sake of simplicity and for the learning purposes, we are looking at product vision only from these two dimensions. Let's say, for example, you're trying to create a low creativity product with unknown demand. What do I mean by that? A lot of times we have a hunch based on signals we receive in multiple experiences. We have a hunch or we have an instinct, right? But those instincts can be inspired from multiple things, but we don't know where they are coming from. So what I'm trying to bring to your attention here is those products that have this nature of instinctively driven, but they are not very creative, at least from a point of view of understanding. It's not very creative. What do we call that kind of a product? We call that kind of a product inspired. This particular product is driven by pure instincts. Now, in this particular scenario, what kind of customer conversations will you take? In most cases, it is very hard for product founders to compartmentalize like this because most of the time we believe our ideas are not available anywhere. It's unique. That's the kind of emotions we carry. But honestly, it's not like that. We are inspired from multiple experiences that we had, and then we instinctively believe this is a different way or different application for a particular opportunity or particular situation in hand. This is what we call the inspired kind of products. The next type of products is typically driven by trends. We see a technological trend, we see a behavioral trend, and where those behavioral trends are leading to a category of products that are coming up. Now we want to latch on to those categories. I call these products imitative in nature. That is, somebody is creating it. I see that I can create this particular product as it is in a cheaper, faster, better way. So these products are, from a creativity point of view, a lot of the work is done by somebody else, and the demand creation is also done by somebody else, and you are tapping in to your ability to accelerate the delivery of value or distribution, or you have some unique sauce with respect to customer relationship, or you have something special in terms of supplier relationship. You are trying to leverage those in order to tap into an existing demand. This is what the second type of product is. Now this kind of product will require a different kind of customer conversation. The third type of product is where what we call is the demand is known, but it is high creativity. So this kind of product, what we call is the products where you are driven by insights. You are working in a particular business. You have very first-hand idea of what's happening there, why something is not working. So you are basically dwelling on those insights that you have firsthand, and then you are trying to create a product that is unique, and then it is differentiated. That kind of product we call innovative products. And the customer conversation that we are going to apply in that particular scenario will be very, very different compared to the other types of product visions we carry. The last type is what we call the inventive product. The inventive product is highly creative. It is it is basically, based on the ingenuity of the individual at hand, the ingenuity of somebody, who is thinking something from the scratch. Meaning to say, the first person who conceived an aeroplane, the first person who conceived a touchscreen mobile phone, the first person who conceived a device like a Walkman where we can play music on the go. So these are inventive kind of products. So if you have an idea that is highly creative and unknown demand, those products are inventive products. This is a beginner's perspective on the different type of product vision you can carry. Now each of these visions will require a different customer conversation technique. If you apply a survey kind of technique in an inventive product, the customer may not understand. If you apply a focus group kind of a technique, the customer may not be able to tell you. If you are applying a one-to-one kind of a conversation, the customer may not be able to tell you. So what kind of technique you will use if you are building an inventive product? Because nobody has visualized it except you. So the conversation has to center on something that is relevant to what you are trying to create. Same is the case with inspired product, innovative product, or imitative products. Each of these product visions bring a kind of circumstance, lead to a kind of circumstance where you have to apply something unique to gather insights. Unless you are able to look at customer conversations from a detached point of view and a very, very specific angle, we may not gain the insights that we are actually looking to gain from our effort. And what are the techniques that we can apply, and what are the other dimensions in which customer conversations can be looked at, will be seeing in the upcoming sessions. I really appreciate you for joining me, and I hope and I'm looking forward to your continued participation in these sessions. Thank you so much. This is Mohammed here.